I'm pretty sure everyone watching this knows what this mod does. This is Serration. It's a base damage multiplier that affects your rifles. It multiplies the base 100% value of your total weapon's damage. Basically, put mod, do more damage. Pretty simple. Take a shot every time I say damage. Now, how about this? Arcane Rage. A Warframe Arcane, which also gives you base damage, but at a slightly higher value, meaning this and Serration do the same thing. However, the means of achieving this damage bonus is different. Moving on to another arcane, Primary Deadhead, although this time it's placed on your gun. This also gives you base damage, but at a significant increase alongside another multiplier. Again, same modifier, different means of achieving damage. One more addition, just for an example, Vigorous Swap, a Warframe mod. This gives you damage every time you swap your weapons, which works for any weapon you swap to, comparable to Serration, but not consistent enough. All four examples of base damage increase can of course be added together, but not advised, because they are the same multiplier, resulting in diminishing returns. They're not multiplying each other, they're just being added to the same pool. They all have the tagline damage attached to their description, but not really describing what type of damage. So your average player won't really know the difference, because looking at this as a new player, hey, all forms of damage increases are good. Yet in Warframe, it's not as straightforward as that, because you need different multipliers to increase your total damage output. Unfortunately, also in Warframe, these are not explained properly, nor are they distinguishable unless you have established knowledge. Those four examples earlier were pretty simple. Now, let's confuse people a bit. It's not me doing this. This is in the game. I'm just exposing it. Take Mirage with Eclipse. While bathed in light, you gain a percentage damage increase to your weapons. Now Chroma and Vex Armor. This also gives you a weapon damage increase, but at a larger percentage. So suddenly, he seems like a better choice, right? And then moving down to Roar on Rhino. This damage increase is significantly lower than the other two.
What the fuck? Ew! Bro!
Looking at this buff, it's clearly the weaker one, right? Yet why are people using this on a lot of their builds? For the people who know the difference between the three, type PSF is the best mod in the game in the comment section. Okay, now let's help people understand the difference between the three, because these buffs have counterparts that can be found on mods, arcanes, and even external buffs. Starting off with Eclipse, this is a final weapon damage multiplier. It's a multiplicative bonus calculated after your weapon's total damage is applied. To keep it simple, so you remember how that Serration mod multiplying the base damage on your weapons? Cool. Then Eclipse just multiplies that damage. Pretty simple. This damage multiplier affects each shot your weapon deals and the status effect damage once. So it's usually advised to run this with high burst raw damage builds. The closest mod and arcane equivalent to this buff is a mod like Prime Chamber, which is multiplicative to your base damage, and the arcane Longbow Sharpshot, which functions the same. So you see how confusing this is for players when Prime Chamber and Longbow Sharpshot say gain damage but never tell you what type of damage? Yeah, exactly my point. Okay, now that we've established Eclipse, what is Vex Armor? Do you remember the first four examples of base damage in the beginning of the video? That's this ability. Pretty much a juiced up version of Serration, meaning you can opt out of using any base damage modifiers on your weapons, because Vex Armor provides you with all the base damage you could ever need, and then some. And yes, Eclipse and Vex Armor work well with each other, same as if you were using both Serration with Eclipse on your weapon builds. Unfortunately, we cannot have this combination with the Helminth, unless you have a friend providing you with these buffs. Alright, what's the deal with Roar? Well, it's a universal damage multiplier that applies to your weapons and abilities, and it can also be shared with allies.
Hot diggity dog!
This damage is considered as a faction damage multiplier, pretty much your Bane mods in ability form. Think back, I did say universal, meaning it doesn't have a single faction restriction like the mods.
I'm stronger, I'm smarter, I'm better, I am better!
And faction damage modifiers also have your damage over time status effects deal 2 times the damage, as it multiplies the damage modifier on itself, unlike Eclipse. And if you have Mirage, Chroma, and Rhino buffing each other, all of those bonuses will multiply one another for even bigger damage. Now that you know the differences, you can see how confusing it is for your average player looking at these buffs, as they just see the term damage increase without knowing what type of damage they deal. Also, to make it even more confusing, I'm sorry for doing this.
Just watch. Trust me. I'm telling you, it's gonna be fun. You don't know. You don't know. Oh, bro.
Take a look at your faction damage mods. The numbers are in a multiplier state, not percentage, easily distinguishable from your base damage mods. Fun fact, this was a recent addition, by the way, as it was not the case a while back, which confused people even more because they were wondering why this Prime mod, a mod that required a lot of resources to max out, why was this mod only a 55% damage increase? Good thing they made the change. Anyway, multiplier state. Easy, right? Yet Roar is still in percentage state and only stating damage increase and not what it really does. So the confusing part. Let's move on to Equinox and her Dayform Metamorphosis buff. Can any of you guess what type of damage increase this is? Pause now and comment what you think. Don't Google, I'm watching you. Just want to see if you know what this buff does. This, in fact, is exactly like Vex Armor, a base damage increase, yet in a multiplier state, and it only affects your guns. Pretty much a worse version of Vex Armor. Now let's see if we can guess what Amp from Octavia does. Guys, you won't believe it. Yes, this damage multiplier is a base damage multiplier as well. Tell me, how confused are you now?
What just happened now? What is this now?
And here is when I ruin your day with even more confusion.
No. Wait.
So, mods like Condition Overload and Galvanize Aptitude and its other counterparts are actually base damage increases, but with a condition that needs to be met. I did say base damage, right? Yet, on some projectile-based weaponry, these mods will end up functioning exactly like Eclipse. Make it make sense, man! This is a bug that is now a feature for many years. I just want there to be an intuitive way to distinguish these buffs, and of course, better ability descriptions, as Roar's description hasn't changed ever since. And this definitely confuses other players. There are people out there that still think Roar gives you strength. I am not kidding. For example, of intuitive ways of damage description, look at Path of Exile. There's increased damage and more damage. Increase is an additive bonus and more is a multiplier. It also has gain extra damage, which kinda works similar to adding elemental damage mods in Warframe. It's simple yet intuitive for the player until they look at the skill tree and all the depth the game has. Anyway, this is a topic I've always been passionate about and hoping DE does something to help players understand what all these numbers mean, Mason, without overwhelming them. So here's hoping to seeing something change when they add the new player modding quest. So, did any of you learn something new in this video? Or you already knew all of this and you're just that guy? Let me know your thoughts. Because that has been it from me. I do hope you've enjoyed and learned something from this video. Please feel free to leave a like, share, and subscribe. Who am I kidding?
Subscriber.
For more Warframe content, streams, and so much more, do refer to the description. Thanks for watching, and as always, a peace. Bye-bye now.